Welcome to the Trackpads podcast, your go-to destination for exploring the rich history, strategies, and leadership lessons of warfare. I'm William, reading today's podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast and sign up for the weekly newsletter. You can also explore more by visiting trackpads.com. Let's get started. The Second Battle of Fallujah. On November 7, 2004, under the cover of darkness, thousands of U.S. Marines and soldiers moved methodically into the city of Fallujah, Iraq. Their steps echoed through narrow streets littered with rubble and concealed dangers at every corner. The Second Battle of Fallujah, known formally as Operation Phantom Fury, was one of the most intense and controversial urban battles of the Iraq War, involving fierce house-to-house fighting against entrenched insurgents prepared to defend the city at all costs. Lasting from November 7 to December 23, 2004, the battle saw roughly 15,000 coalition troops, primarily U.S. Marines and Army units, face off against an estimated 3,000 to 4,000 Iraqi insurgents and foreign fighters led by al-Qaeda's brutal affiliate, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi. Situated in Iraq's turbulent Anbar province, Fallujah had become a key stronghold for insurgents resisting American presence following the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003. This strategic city, with its deep-rooted tribal affiliations and symbolic resistance, represented a crucial battleground. Though the battle was a clear tactical victory for the coalition, it remains hotly debated regarding its strategic significance. Critics argue the high civilian casualties and infrastructure destruction ultimately undermined broader coalition objectives in Iraq. This narrative will guide readers through the conflict's historical context, the fierce fighting, immediate consequences, and its lasting legacy, revealing the complexities and controversies that continue to define Fallujah's place in military history. Historical context. The Iraq War began in March 2003 when a U.S.-led coalition invaded the country, swiftly toppling Saddam Hussein's regime, but inadvertently triggering widespread insurgency. Despite the initial success, security rapidly deteriorated, particularly in Sunni-dominated regions like Anbar province, where Fallujah became a symbol of resistance. Insurgent groups exploited the post-invasion chaos, fostering instability and violence. Fallujah, a city known for strong tribal traditions, quickly evolved into a hub of anti-coalition insurgency. Resentment exploded into global consciousness after the brutal killing and desecration of 4 American contractors in March 2004, images of which provoked outrage and demands for action among American policymakers and the public. This tragic event escalated tensions, prompting military planners to consider aggressive measures. The U.S. military first attempted to retake Fallujah in April 2004 during Operation Vigilant Resolve. However, after suffering heavy casualties and facing backlash over civilian deaths, American commanders ordered a controversial withdrawal, temporarily handing authority back to local leaders. This move provided insurgents an opportunity to fortify and entrench their positions, significantly complicating any future military operations. Coalition forces meticulously planned a second assault, Operation Phantom Fury, to correct earlier failures. Under Marine General James Mattis, months of preparation included intelligence gathering, psychological warfare, and securing the city's perimeter to prevent escape or reinforcements. The aim was to minimize previous errors by ensuring comprehensive readiness and tactical superiority. Political timing added further complexity. Operation Phantom Fury occurred shortly after the U.S. presidential election, reflecting sensitive political calculations that allowed the Bush administration a freer hand in aggressively confronting insurgent-held areas without immediate electoral consequences. Critics later suggested that timing was deliberately chosen to avoid influencing election results, raising ethical and strategic questions. The intersection of military and political agendas shaped the broader context of the operation. The battle itself. The urban battlefield awaiting coalition forces was formidable. Fallujah's dense neighborhoods were transformed into fortified strongpoints by insurgents. Streets were mined, buildings booby-trapped, and insurgents created complex networks of tunnels and sniper nests, expecting a decisive confrontation. The battle environment tested both technological capabilities and soldier resilience. Coalition forces first isolated Fallujah, sealing off escape routes and controlling critical supply lines. Then, on November 7, Marines and Army units commenced their initial assault from the north, systematically pushing into city districts amid fierce resistance. Despite heavy initial fighting, coalition forces steadily advanced, adapting their tactics as insurgent defense. Among the hardest-hit areas was the northern Jolan district, where insurgents fiercely resisted Marine advances. Intense, close-quarters combat became commonplace as coalition forces navigated hidden explosives and insurgent ambushes, often involving brutal room-to-room firefights. The brutal urban terrain severely tested combat techniques and mental endurance. Technology played a pivotal role as coalition forces deployed drones for reconnaissance, precision-guided munitions, night vision equipment, and armored vehicles. However, insurgents employed low-tech, yet devastating countermeasures, from improvised explosive devices (IDEs) to sniper attacks from concealed positions. This technological disparity created complex tactical challenges throughout the battle. Key engagements erupted around symbolic locations such as Fallujah's main mosque and municipal buildings where insurgent defenders fought tenaciously. One of the fiercest battles occurred at the city's center, becoming a symbol of urban warfare's brutality. Coalition forces faced relentless resistance, underlining the determination and preparedness of insurgent fighters. Heroic episodes punctuated the intense combat, most notably Marine Sergeant Rafael Peralta, who sacrificed himself by covering a grenade to protect his comrades. Acts of individual bravery underscored the severe human stakes involved. Stories of courage and sacrifice emerged, symbolizing the personal dimension amidst large-scale conflict. Insurgents, increasingly desperate as coalition forces advanced, attempted several counterattacks to break the siege. Yet, U.S. troops consistently repelled these efforts, often at great cost, steadily pushing insurgent forces deeper into retreat. The determination on both sides intensified combat, turning Fallujah into a prolonged battle of attrition. Casualty numbers underline the battle's severity. Approximately 95 coalition personnel were killed, over 600 wounded, with insurgent deaths estimated between 1,200 and 1,500. The ferocity and lethality of the fighting left much of Fallujah devastated. The scale of casualties reflected the intensity and complexity of urban combat. As November progressed, insurgent resistance diminished significantly. Coalition forces methodically cleared remaining strongholds with painstaking house-to-house searches, systematically destroying weapons caches and insurgent hideouts. This final phase required meticulous operations, sustaining pressure until organized resistance collapsed. The humanitarian toll was heavy, with significant civilian displacement and infrastructure destruction. Coalition troops often balanced combat operations with providing medical aid and humanitarian assistance to civilians caught in the crossfire. Managing humanitarian consequences became an integral component of the battle strategy. Fallujah's Medal of Honor. Staff Sergeant David Bellavia's actions during the battle became one of its most memorable episodes, illustrating the extreme bravery required during intense urban combat. On November 10, 2004, Bellavia and his platoon encountered heavy enemy fire from a fortified house, infamously known afterward as the Hell House. With insurgents entrenched inside, determined to repel coalition advances, Bellavia quickly recognized that decisive action was necessary to prevent severe casualties among his fellow soldiers. Charging into the building alone under relentless enemy fire, he engaged multiple insurgents at close quarters. Navigating through the smoke-filled rooms, he systematically cleared the house room by room, overcoming intense resistance and neutralizing threats that endangered his unit outside. In the face of overwhelming danger, his extraordinary courage and tactical skill directly saved the lives of numerous American soldiers pinned down by enemy fire. For his heroic actions that day, Staff Sergeant Bellavia was later awarded the Medal of Honor, becoming the only living recipient from the Iraq War to receive the nation's highest military decoration. His bravery in Fallujah's Hell House not only exemplified personal valor, but also highlighted the exceptional demands placed upon soldiers fighting in close urban combat. His actions stand as a profound testament to individual heroism amidst one of the Iraq War's fiercest and most grueling battles. Outcome and immediate impact. The immediate aftermath of Fallujah produced outcomes as complex as the battle itself. Coalition forces regained control over the city, achieving their primary tactical objective, but the victory was marred by severe damage and numerous casualties. Fallujah's extensive destruction symbolized the tragic cost of urban combat, leaving large portions of the city virtually uninhabitable. Reactions to the battle varied significantly within Iraq and, internationally, coalition leaders praised the operation as a decisive blow to insurgent capabilities, asserting it restored governmental control over a critical area. Conversely, critics emphasized the human toll and civilian casualties, arguing that the operation caused excessive collateral damage, undermining efforts to win Iraqi hearts and minds. Strategically, the Second Battle of Fallujah temporarily disrupted insurgent networks but inadvertently fueled anti-coalition sentiments. Insurgent groups quickly leveraged the devastation and civilian suffering for propaganda and recruitment. Thus, the tactical victory achieved on the ground risked being overshadowed by broader, strategic setbacks that empowered insurgent narratives. Politically, the battle significantly influenced Iraq's parliamentary elections in January 2005. The insurgents sought to exploit the resentment generated by the battle to intimidate voters, aiming to destabilize the political process. Coalition authorities responded by increasing security measures nationwide, reflecting how battlefield outcomes directly influenced political stability and voter participation. In the United States, the battle intensified debates about military strategy, rules of engagement, and America's role in Iraq. Politicians and the public grappled with the realities presented by the heavy casualties and widespread destruction in Fallujah. The ensuing debates highlighted deep divisions over American military policy and long-term goals, shaping future operational decisions. Legacy and analysis. The legacy of the Second Battle of Fallujah remains both profound and controversial. Although successful in reclaiming Fallujah from insurgent control, the battle demonstrated the inherent limitations of military force in achieving lasting peace. Fallujah became a stark reminder of the complexities faced by conventional militaries confronting insurgencies embedded within civilian populations. In terms of military doctrine, Fallujah fundamentally reshaped how the U.S. approached urban warfare. Military planners and commanders integrated lessons learned into future training and operational strategies, emphasizing the need for precision and careful management of civilian environments. The battle now serves as a critical case study in modern military education, influencing how commanders plan and execute urban combat operations. From a geopolitical perspective, Fallujah significantly impacted global attitudes toward U.S. military interventions. The high-profile battle, marked by heavy civilian suffering, heightened international skepticism toward American-led operations. This shift influenced diplomatic strategies, public opinion, and future decision-making processes, especially concerning military actions in the Middle East. Ultimately, Fallujah encapsulates the profound ethical and strategic dilemmas inherent in urban warfare. The operation challenged military strategists and policymakers to carefully balance achieving tactical objectives against mitigating civilian harm. This ongoing tension continues to define military strategy debates today, emphasizing the importance of ethical considerations in conflict planning. Closing. The Second Battle of Fallujah stands as a defining event of the Iraq War, vividly illustrating the severe human costs and intense complexities of modern urban combat. The battle remains a powerful reminder of the challenges inherent in conducting military operations within densely populated areas, highlighting both tactical successes and profound humanitarian concerns. Fallujah's lasting significance emerges from the heroism displayed on all sides, the resilience of affected civilians, and the vital lessons learned about warfare's devastating realities. Reflecting on the battle urges contemporary military leaders, policymakers, and society at large to thoughtfully consider the ethical and humanitarian dimensions of conflict. Fallujah's legacy continues to inform military strategy, humanitarian efforts, and conflict resolution, offering critical insights aimed at preventing or mitigating future suffering. Ultimately, the battle underscores war's complex nature, reminding us of the imperative to prioritize human dignity, even amidst the harsh realities of combat. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the TrackPath podcast. Don't forget to check out the TrackPath online newsletter, where we take things to the next level with multimedia content. Each issue features fascinating and informative photos, videos, and articles that bring the stories of military life to you in a dynamic and engaging way. Be sure to subscribe at trackpaths.com to stay informed and entertained. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the incredible world of military history and life.